Morning to you, Stephen Nolan on your radio this morning. If you're sending me a message on Twitter, it's twitter.com/Stephen Nolan, Stephen with a PH. If you're giving me a call this morning, 0500 909 693. David writes to me in the text. He lives in Cambridge, and David says, Stephen, my situation's awful. I bought a house for 350 grand in April 2008. It was a brand new house. It's now been on the market, says David, for 22 months. I've only had 3 viewings. It's now on the market for £75,000 less, 275 grand. It's depressing, this. The house is stunning. I simply cannot sell it for any less. And here's someone in a different situation. I bought in North Cardiff 18 months ago. My property's increased in value by 25 grand. There's high demand in this area, says that texter. Here's Mark in Portsmouth. Morning to you, Mark.
Good morning.
Some of these stats, Mark, lots of people maybe just joining us over the last few minutes on the network. The Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, they've said house prices have gone down last month for the first time in a year. Let's remind ourselves about this PricewaterhouseCoopers survey last month, because I think it's interesting. It says there's a 50% chance that house prices will still be below peak 2007 levels in 2020. In 9 years' time. Now, you bought in 2007, Mark.
Well, I didn't actually. I bought first back in 2001, and then moved to the property which I'm in now in 2004. So really bought at the right time. But I think the main point is in the mortgages that are available. Back in 2007, at the peak of mortgages that were available, I changed over to an offset tracker mortgage for 21 years, and I pay 0.49% above base. So at the moment, my mortgage is peanuts.
Yeah.
And so at this present time, I'm just putting as much spare capital as I can in to reduce mortgage significantly.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm on 0.5% plus base, so I'm paying 1%. It's brilliant.
Who's that with the Abbey?
Well, it probably wouldn't be appropriate for me to say. I can't give them a free plug, or somebody will think there's money in it for me. But
I don't think it's available now.
Yeah, no. Well, they want you out of it, don't they? Any of these cheap mortgage deals that you're on, the banks want you out of it because it's costing them money. The cost of money for some of these banks is actually the products they're selling people like you and I that they're tied into. It's costing them more than they're selling it to us for.
Exactly. I mean, now that I'm tied in for 12, I don't see it as I'm tied in. They're tied in for 21 years. I mean, I'll keep the savings pot at the same, increase that till it's ready to pay, but I'll never pay it off. I use that as a tool to invest elsewhere,
Having said that, though, Mark, the only way interest rates can go from here is up, and
yeah, I can't see it for the next couple of years too much,
It's not going to stay like this for much longer, I don't reckon. Do you?
I think you might see it for the next 3 or 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So you bought, when did you say you bought, 2001?
2001 originally. I paid 88,000 for a first property. That got sold for 150. And then I purchased the next house for 177.
Well, you're sitting pretty then, Mark. Listen, thank you. Martin in Norfolk likes to talk to you, Mark. Morning, Martin.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good
nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. You don't have to worry, by the way. I've seen you on TV. You look fine. You get happier faces in the restaurants than you do in gymnasiums.
Oh, really?
So don't worry on that one, yes.
Where did you see me on the telly?
During the daytime.
Oh, the game show, Panic Attack.
That's the one, yes.
That's the one. All right, Martin.
My message is, for people, if they are so sort of inclined to, is to rent and not buy. We've recently sold our 8th house. We've got lots of history of buying and selling. After 3 years of trying to sell, we eventually sold at a discount of 25,000. It came down from 200,000 to 160,000. And we're renting a house that we couldn't possibly ever afford to buy. And for what you pay in rent, okay, some people might say it's dead money, but so's stamp duty, so's estate agency fees, so are mortgage fees. And where you can rent and what you can rent for the amount of money is just, in certain areas, especially here in Norfolk, is just unbelievable.
If you listen to what someone said there about an hour ago, it stuck in my head. They were saying that, when we've got all of this doom and gloom, when we've got all of this fear, all this panic, maybe maybe now is the time to buy. When you've got all the heat and you've got all the momentum and you've got all the TV shows saying how wonderful property is and prices are on the way up, that's not the time to buy if you're trying to make money. So maybe, Martin, maybe if you had, maybe if you got a really good deal, now could be a really good time to buy. Maybe.
Yes,
maybe.
but then you're also tying yourself to living in one area. If you want to live around a bit, and you only just get one life, and if you want to live around in different areas, we've lived in London, Norfolk and the North East, it's a very, it's a good opportunity to do so and to get to know areas.
Yeah, here's Angus has just texted me. He says, Stephen, we just put our property on the market in Teddington, London. 23 viewings, no offers in 2 weeks. Agents now saying we need to reduce the price. They told us to put it on 25 grand higher than we actually did. We could do another programme on that, couldn't we? Because once agents actually get your house, if you think about it, an estate agent wants to give you a feeling that you want to go with them as an agent. So they want to give you a price that you think, wow, that's great, they can get me that. Once they have your business, do they reduce the price? Do they tell you to reduce the price a couple of weeks later? Certainly happens where I live, Ranjit in Wolverhampton. Morning to you, Ranjit.
Morning, Stephen.
Go ahead, Ranjit.
Yeah, personally, I'm in a situation at the moment. My daughter and son-in-law who are living with me at the moment have got a nice deposit to put down. And they're looking around, but the same with me. I'm looking to invest some money into a property now because I've taken some equity out of my property to invest into another one, and we've going around putting offers in. At the moment, I think we've got offers about 7 to 8 properties. Something like 130,000. We're offering them 110. 20,000 below the asking price. And
a couple of years ago, people would have told you to clear off. Now they've got to take you seriously.
Well, exactly. If you've got the finance and the capital.
But you're the type of boy that if I was selling my house, you'd really wind me up.
No, I wouldn't wipe you out, but it's.
You'd wind me up.
Everything in what's the name goes ups and downs. I bought a property when I first moved out with my parents for 37,000.
Yeah.
A small townhouse, kids were small, I bought it, I lived in it 10 years, everything shot up, and 10 years later I sold the same property for 117 and a half.
I just wonder how long it's going to be. How many years there needs to be before another generation gets caught up in a housing bubble and a cycle. Let me squeeze in Stephen Wigan, last caller. You're an estate agent, Steve. Morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
How are you calling the market? I'm all right, Steve. We've had a lot of doom and gloom today. This survey out from the RICS says house prices down first month in a year. How are you calling it, Steve?
Well, I'm not sure I can raise the doom and gloom. I'm actually an estate agent. The point I wanted to make was that I don't think there's a correlation between the dip in house prices in July and the emergency budget, because it takes about 2 to 3 months for a sale to go through once agreed. So really it's a reflection of the sentiment in probably April or May that we're seeing reflected in house prices. I think house prices are going to remain very sluggish, especially in the north where I'm based. The media isn't helping things actually by announcing that prices have risen somewhat. People have a lot of expectation when I got some valuations that their house price is now worth more.
All right, my friend, we're done. We're out of time. I had to cut you off in your prime. Thank you for your company today. See you tomorrow at 10.